You turn off the lights to go to sleep. And for just a second, even if you're a fully grown adult who knows nothing's there, something in you tenses up. Maybe you walk a little faster to your bed. Maybe you glance at the closet one more time than necessary. You know there's nothing there. But some part of you isn't fully convinced. Why does the dark do this to us? Why does something as simple as the absence of light make our brain act like we're in actual danger? Let's start with the obvious answer, because it's true, but it's not the whole story. You can't see in the dark. Humans have terrible night vision compared to most predators. Cats, owls, wolves, all built with eyes designed for low light. Yours wasn't. So in the dark, you lose your best sense. The one you rely on more than any other to detect danger. That alone would explain some discomfort. But it doesn't explain why a grown adult, in their own locked house, with zero actual threats nearby, still feels that specific creeping unease the second the lights go out. That part needs a different explanation. Go back about 200,000 years. Your ancestors lived without electricity. Obviously. No flashlights. No streetlights. No glowing phone screen to check the time. When the sun went down, their world went almost completely black. And that darkness wasn't peaceful. It was when most predators hunted. Big cats, in particular, are built for night hunting. Better night vision, quieter movement, the ability to sneak up on prey that can't see them coming. For early humans, nighttime wasn't just less convenient. It was genuinely the most dangerous part of every single day. The humans who treated darkness casually, who wandered around at night without much caution, got eaten. The humans who felt uneasy, stayed close to the fire, and treated every rustle in the dark as a potential threat, survived long enough to have kids. You're descended from the second group. Every single one of your ancestors. Here's where it gets interesting. Your brain didn't just learn darkness as dangerous as a fact you memorized. It got wired in deeper than that, into instinct, into automatic reaction, into something that fires before you even consciously think about it. This is why even today, even in a world with light switches and locked doors, your body still reacts to darkness almost the exact same way it reacted 200,000 years ago. Your pupils dilate, your heart rate can tick up slightly. Your hearing, weirdly, actually gets a bit more sensitive in the dark, because your brain is compensating for the vision you just lost. You're not imagining any of this. Your body is literally running ancient survival code, designed for a world that mostly doesn't exist anymore. There's another layer to this that makes it even stranger. In the dark, your brain doesn't just become more cautious, it starts filling in gaps with imagination. You've probably noticed this. A coat hanging on a door looks like a person standing there. A shadow in the corner looks like it's moving, even when it's not. This isn't your brain malfunctioning. It's your brain doing something it's actually really good at, pattern matching, even with incomplete information. In bright light, your eyes give your brain enough detail to correctly identify what you're looking at. In darkness, your brain only gets partial information. Vague shapes, rough outlines. And here's the key part. Your brain would rather guess, that might be dangerous, and be wrong, than guess, that's definitely safe, and be wrong. Because historically, the cost of those two mistakes was completely different. Guessing wrong about a coat being a person costs you a second of fear. Guessing wrong about a predator being a coat could cost you your life. So your brain is deliberately biased toward assuming danger in low information situations. That's not paranoia. That's a very old, very effective survival strategy still running in the background of your mind. Kids show this even more obviously than adults do. Almost every child goes through a phase of being afraid of the dark, monsters under the bed, shapes in the closet. Parents often think this is just imagination running wild, something kids eventually grow out of because they learn better. But there's a theory that this fear might actually be a normal, expected part of human development, not a flaw to fix, but a feature that shows up right on schedule. Around the age kids start being mobile enough to wander off on their own, which, in the ancient world, is exactly the age they'd be vulnerable to nighttime predators if they weren't supervised closely. Fear of the dark spikes. It's almost like an internal alarm system switching on at exactly the developmental stage when it would have mattered most. Most kids do eventually become more comfortable with darkness as they get older. But that initial fear showing up so consistently, across basically every human culture, in kids of a similar age, is hard to explain as pure coincidence. Now here's something modern life adds to all this. You don't actually need to fear the dark for survival anymore. Not really. Most people reading this aren't living somewhere with nighttime predators waiting outside. But the instinct doesn't know that. It can't read the news and update itself with, "Hey, you're actually pretty safe now." It just keeps running the same ancient program, generation after generation, regardless of how safe your actual environment has become. This is true for a lot of human fears, honestly. Heights, spiders, snakes, loud sudden noises. These aren't random fears. They're specifically the things that were actually dangerous for thousands of generations of your ancestors. Modern threats, like, say, the actual statistical danger of car accidents, don't trigger this same instinctive fear nearly as strongly, even though cars are objectively far more likely to harm you than the dark ever will be. Your brain didn't have time to evolve a fear of cars yet. It's had a couple 100,000 years to perfect its fear of darkness. So next time you find yourself walking a little faster through a dark room, or feeling that small flicker of unease when the lights go out, you're not being childish, you're not being irrational, you're running an ancient, deeply tested survival system that kept every single one of your ancestors alive long enough to eventually create you. That system doesn't know about light switches. It doesn't know about locked doors in modern cities. It just knows one very old, very simple rule. When you can't see what's around you, be ready for anything. And honestly, for 200,000 years, that rule worked exactly as intended. If your brain finds this stuff interesting, subscribe for more. Because there's a lot more weird, ancient wiring still running inside your head. And it only gets stranger from here.